Hello, my name is Wes Dawson, and I would like to welcome you to Gabagool, and what a historic episode, what a week to land on, as I will be presenting to you, consider this my civic duty, my moral responsibility. This is G8, the game, the ultimate pickup artist guide. No, maybe I should be using my deep, sexy, kind of Manilow type voice for this. This is my actual voice I use during copulation. It drives the ladies wild when you whisper things in the ear like, "Is that okay? Are you enjoying it? It's good, right? Right?" Now I think I'll drop the voice for the purposes of this episode. So yes, if you have ever struggled with the ladies, if you're trying to pick up some tail, if you're trying to use some other antiquated expression to talk about casual sex, Wes Dawson and Gabagool Nate is here to help you out. So within this week's episode, you will learn all the tricks, the techniques. Every little subtle hint I give you will guarantee a 100% success rate with whoever you're trying to woo. Now, I have lots of experience with women. Many of them call me the human mining drill. Not because I've been digging deep for the past 20 years. No, more so for the oddly shaped and pointed appearance of my love tool. Now, do I actually have to have slept with a never-ending list of loose women to talk about this? Nah. I've got about 9,000 hours of YouTube dating coaches under my belt, as well as a 6-day rabbit hole of 4chan threads about what women really want. Also, my fantasies are so realistic, they should basically be considered as life experience. Now, the first thing you need to remember about women is that they love erratic, aggressive, and loud behavior. Now, you want to be able to make abrupt and near-violent movements when you're speaking to them. See, this is an evolutionary, a biological trait women have, that they're attracted to men that seem that they may snap into a psychosis at any moment. This is the suspense, this is the spark that people talk about. And when you're doing these actions, you want to flail your hands around everywhere, but you got to keep them wrists solid. Girls don't like them loose wrists, okay? Unless there's like a high-velocity backhand coming from behind it, keep them wrists solid, my friend. And just remember, when you're trying to lure a woman over to you, you got to remember to look at yourself a bit too. One thing women like is a clean and well-kept man. Now, this extends to your home. I run a tight ship. My landlords first thought I was gay, and now it's not because I offered them fellatio in exchange for free rent, but rather how neat and orderly my apartment is. Now I'm pretty sure they believe I'm a serial killer. But keep in mind, there's a very fine line between being clean and tidy versus forensic considerations and wearing someone's face as a mask. And ultimately, I thought that the sensual moaning and midnight screams would lead them to believe that I'm just plowing through this endless line of beautiful women. No, in fact, I'm just a sad, lonely man. All right, well, talking about cleanliness, this just reminds me of something I watched earlier today about hoarders. And, obviously hoarding is out of the question. Whores don't like hoards. Remember that, okay? So, and I've already told my family, like, look, if you've reached the point that you're hoarding like this, you're obviously suffering quite a bit mentally. So if I throw out all of your shit in one fell swoop, you won't be any further behind than you were. You'll still be suffering. And I can always understand people hoarding like books and tools, these well-packed manuals on things. I can understand that. I can get behind that a little bit, but it's the filth that I don't get. Like, oh yes, this corner of toilet paper is still usable. Well, fucking wipe your ass and flush it. Why would you keep that, for fuck's sake? Also, I know it's not as simple as this, but a tablet and a crash course in using Google, and basically they have eliminated like 90% of their hoard pile. There's no need to be hoarding data or information, with this giant insightful porn mag that we call the internet out there. Christ, you see these hoarders destroying these beautiful houses. They have this wonderful 3-bedroom home, and they turn it into this filth-covered hellscape. All I want is a nice little plot of land, a home with a couple spare bedrooms, a modern kitchen, basement dungeon, the usual, the American dream. Okay, let's move on to some other subjects that women find crucial in the dating world. And that's honesty. Unless you're lying to them for their own good, well then let her rip, all right? In the spirit of honesty, you want to bring up your exes, you want to bring up why you broke up, all the dirty details, explain how and when you cheat. Let them know of your morally corrupt soul and your insatiable need to fill your black heart with fresh puss to try and feel human again. Another thing women love are props. Oh my God, I can't stress that enough. So for a first date, if you could bring with you maybe like a mini fishing rod and say something along the lines of, "Have I hooked you yet?" Guaranteed panty dropper. Or let's say your date goes to the washroom. Well, then you put a whole date into their drink. And those fuzzy little fucking things, they look like the pit of a peach or something. Anyway, flip that into her drink. When she comes back out, you say, I'm a surprisingly refreshing date, aren't I? Women love these authentically funny and highbrow jokes. And keep in mind in all this social discourse that women are drawn to the animalistic part of men. This is why I shave my entire body except my genitals. It gives me the sexual magnetism of a warthog, exactly what the ladies are looking for. What would be Gabagool Nate without a good bad? So good. Trying to pick up girls at the bar, the gym, your local supermarket. The bad is how dare you communicate with someone when they're out in public, you toxic piece of garbage. A good. Being well informed and knowing how to keep a conversation engaging. The bad, basically any dating coach aside from Wes Dawson. Like seriously, what the fuck? Have you listened to any of this crap that's on YouTube? It's like mind-blowingly stupid. Anyway, moving on. A good. Using a pet such as a puppy to attract women. The bad, remembering that your pit bull who suffers from PTSD has issues with vapid human beings and now you need to go into hiding with them for the next 5 to 8 years so they don't take your baby away. So before we close out the show, I would like to touch on some of the types of men that women like. A brief disclaimer, I'm talking about women before they've ended up like an overused lacrosse sock and all the, elasticity is gone. Because, beyond that age, well, choosers do become beggars. So, of course, the bad boy. Now, this is the exclusive fan favorite. So you want to play hard to get. You'd be a little bit insulting, a little bit mysterious. You want to come across as chauvinistic, but not misogynistic, okay? So you want to start conversations with something along the lines of, hey, you stupid cow, let's fuck. All right, that should work. And of course, you have the good guy. And I'd like to add a little disclaimer before this. Any self-proclaimed good guy, maybe steer clear from that. I'm like a 230-pound male, and it still scares me a bit. There are some very hard, rapey vibes from guys who can't stop insisting that they are good guys. Anyway, so a good guy, she thinks that you two could settle down together. You could be a long-term relationship. She resents the respect that you give her. So you would need a different approach, maybe a softer approach. Something such as, it's so great to finally meet you. You look wonderful. Let's funk, you stupid bitch. Works every time. And of course, we have the fuckboy, which is kind of like a combination of the two. First off, get yourself a Nirvana shirt. No need to listen to the depressing dribble found within the album. Just get the shirt. Make sure it is at least, 3 X's above whatever you normally wear. And you're going to want to drape your tongue slightly out of your mouth and keep it there almost puffy, glistening with saliva. Now, you want to have the appearance as though you just had your wisdom teeth pulled, but the dentist, instead of hitting you with the anesthetic in your mouth, they accidentally caught you in the temple, okay? And then you're going to continually trace your jawline with your thumbs while making noises sort of like, yeah. Basically, you're going to become a pathetic ripoff of 1990s LL Cool J. All right, a quick random question time and fun facts before we end the episode. Did you know that deer are the only animals to engage in anal sex for pleasure? It's true. Gag each other with pine cones, whip each other with bulrushes. They just have at it. It's fucking crazy. I understand why hunting is so popular where I live. Also, did you know the only successful naturally occurring cross-species offspring was a mix of a cat and a dog in 1998? Now, the scientists leading this groundbreaking experiment, or abomination as some people would call it, had these comments: one fine day with a woof and a purr. A baby was born, and it caused a little stir. No blue buzzard or three-eyed frog, just a feline canine little cat dog. Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this week. I hope you have learned something. So upcoming for next week, we will do the ultimate guide for picking up men. Now, I'm not technically gay, but these tricks will work. Trust me. Also, we will have the ultimate guide for loving your pets with great alternate solutions for those suffering from peanut allergies. So my name is Wes Dawson. This has been Gabagool and 8. Thank you so much. Please listen, like, share, and subscribe. And just remember, retroactive consent is still consent.